I'm originally from Arizona. My father was in the military, and I grew up in a little town called Sierra Vista, south of Tucson. Fort Huachuca, Arizona is a military base that my father was at. I started playing football in elementary school and quickly realized that it was not going to be a sport for me because my classmates were starting to grow a lot larger than I was in high school. So I started wrestling as you know, there was weight classes, and so it was more of an even playing field. It was a individualized sport, and it was fun to get your hand raised when you won. Terrible when you lose, but I had a good experience with it. I actually ran away from home in Arizona and ended up wanting to live with my uncle in Los Angeles to finish high school. After having done that, it was actually more of a do or die situation because I, had to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And I thought, well, I might be better off if I can at least go to college. And so my goal was to get a college scholarship my last year of high school wrestling, which was my senior year at Torrance High School. The head coach, Andy Harris, and the assistant coach, Mike Komodo, welcomed me with open arms and helped me achieve that goal. Tim Vandy, who was the assistant coach at Cal State Bakersfield, saw me at the state championships and thought I might be a good contributor to the Cal State Bakersfield Roadrunners.
Obviously with the likes of Jesse Reyes and Joe Gonzalez and obviously Danny Cuestas, those kinds of individuals really helped him develop into a college level wrestler, and he won the Division II national championships.
He was just a beast of a guy. Anyone that saw him in his prime, he just had muscles coming out of his ears, huge calves, and just a really good athlete. He was kind of just putting the whole package together. He had the physicality, and he put in the hard work. He had the conditioning and the technical side.
Tim Vandy wanted to train for the Olympics in 1988, and so he decided to move back to Arizona, and he asked me if I wanted to come with him since he knew that I was from Arizona. And I jumped right on that because it was an opportunity to come back home, first of all. And at the time, Arizona, Tempe in particular, was more of a wrestling hotbed. The head coach at Cal State Bakersfield didn't release me at the time, and so I had to come to Arizona State with no assistance. And so it was actually a struggling time for me. So I contemplated discontinuing wrestling. And it was my father who actually told me, at one point in time, you're not really going to have this as an option. So you might as well take advantage of your opportunity now and do what you can with the sport. And so that got me back into competing as hard as I could. In the NCAAs, my junior year, I took second. I lost to Pat Santoro, who I trained for, it seems like all year because he was a defending national champion. And then I took third my senior year. And it was a good experience, but the funny thing about the NCAAs, I walked away from that feeling like, wow, there's only one real happy person at the end of their career. It's the person that wins the national title because everybody else had at least lost a match. And so it's almost bittersweet. But I still had that drive and that eagerness to try to do something more with the sport. And so after I was done, I had a hunger to really try to achieve a lot more in the sport. And so that's what really got me moving into international competition.
He's such a dynamic athlete. He's explosive, he's powerful, he's flexible, he's athletic. He's got incredible balance, power, and strength. And all this in one little package.
He was a very, very hard worker, very, very skilled wrestler. And I think that of all the great middleweights, Townsend stands out as one of the greatest.
Well, I can remember my first World Championships going to Bulgaria in 1991, and Bobby Douglas telling me distinctly that, because my very first match was against an Iranian, and he said, when you step on the mat with an Iranian, you really are stepping on the mat with some of the best wrestlers in the world. And I heard it, but I didn't really understand what he meant until you actually feel one of those wrestlers or a competition like that. And so it was a tremendous learning experience to see all the other countries compete at the World Championship level and how serious they take it and how much it really means to them and their countries. Just instills like a sense of pride being from the United States that it'll always stick with me. So I was fortunate to have competed in 91, 93, 94, 95 World Championships, and so I'll take that to heart. My Olympics experiences were so gratifying. I mean, to have made the 92 Olympic team, especially after having been an All-American but not even have won a national title. It's like, I consider myself very lucky. In 96, it was great to have made another Olympic team, but I really wanted to win a gold medal, especially since it was in the United States, having the home field advantage. And so at that point in my career, I was much more seasoned, much more ready for the competition. And so I thought I had a little, quite a bit of success. Almost got the gold, but I can't complain about having won a silver. I recognized early on that the athletes that I was trying to emulate, that I was trying to aspire to be like, they were able to focus on their strengths. Everybody has weaknesses, and you can try to improve your weaknesses. Certainly you don't want to have your weaknesses hinder your ability to be able to achieve your goals. But if you don't focus on your strengths, you're not really ever going to achieve your fullest potential. And so I think you can apply that not just in the sport of wrestling, but also in life. And I try to focus on strengths and other things in life as well.
Of course, he's one of the best wrestlers on this planet, but he's also one of the smartest men I've ever met. He was able to dissect what worked for him in wrestling and become one of our champions and take that on into his everyday life like we all have after we finish with the sport.
The one thing that I think is most gratifying and I think the biggest accomplishment was having met my wife through the sport of wrestling. She's been my pillar, my rock, and has helped me through all the competitions that I've had tremendous success with. We have 3 wonderful children. Tasia, my oldest daughter, Townsend III is my son, and Tatiana is my youngest daughter. It is a tremendous honor to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, but as a distinguished member with my wife, Patricia, it's a tremendous honor. I feel like we've been pioneers of the sport, and it's just really awesome.